But the problem of those things is that it's not the best way to find user to us. The ads are not targeted, they're not measured, and they're not Web3. What we do here is very different. What we do here is find wallet-aware publishers platforms, such as a crypto wallet or crypto social app like Farcaster, and then put a incentivized unit inside, so that when we show the ads to the user is not just a cookie or an eyeball that you have no idea about, and you're just wasting most of the money to irrelevant people. You actually know exactly how much money the wallet address hold, what token they buy, and what type of DeFi stuff that they do. And those are very informative things that you can use to make sure you personalize the ad really well for that user.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Index podcast, where we come together every couple of weeks to discuss on-chain data, chart crimes, and metrics that move the crypto industry. Today, we have with us Danning, on-chain sleuth at Pantera Capital.
Hi.
She recently joined the dark side of the VC space from Flashbots. How's that?
It's great. I'm starting my job as they're doing data and research and helping all the companies we work with and like investment team to basically build out like data-driven insights and everything. I was thinking like my new updated title should be like banned meme coin trader, because now there's so many compliance policy and like I'm not allowed to trade meme coin. But yeah, I think on-chain sleuth is the right one. But yeah, so far very excited.
Okay, well, keep watching for the next episode. You'll see if we change that handle or not. Stay tuned. With us, we also have James, the ad slinger at Spindl, which is now on the ads team at Coinbase. Welcome, James.
Hello, everyone. And last time I see you guys, I remember we were in an Airbnb at Bangkok for DevCon. And I was demoing the whole Spindl app with all the doing wizards. It's glad to be back. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. And I also have myself, resident data sales self at Dragonfly. Before we start, nothing we say here should be relied upon as legal, financial, investment, tax, or even life advice. The views expressed in this podcast are not representative of our employees' views. We're acting independently of our respective professional roles. And with that, let's start with a little intro from James. James, what do you do?
Yeah, so currently I lead data at Spindl, not a Coinbase company. We're very passionate in helping to build the growth engine for Web3 application. I think the problem with Web3 for the last 5 years is that there are many projects, many use cases, but it's really hard for the user to find it. And we are one of the first solutions to really get to the bottom of it. I'm really proud to work very closely with our CEO AGM in the trenches to help to bring dApps and builders to crypto users.
I know you had a funny story about like how your career trajectory of like just like staying around the Coinbase orbit. Do you want to share with us this fun story?
Rather than saying evolve around Coinbase, I think the crypto on-chain data community is really what got me here. So my crypto journey started 2020 during COVID. I joined Coinbase, started with the Web2 side of data science, did a little bit of my small part in helping the company go public in 21. And then after that, slowly get crypto pilled and moved to the crypto wallet staking side of data science. After 3 years of Coinbase, I was ready to move on. And so I asked my friend Danny, what should I do? So and Danny's like, okay, have you heard about this interesting founder who wrote a book called Chaos Monkey, and really controversial, but has this really wild idea in getting Web3 marketing going. So I read a book. I talked to Antonio, and I also did my due diligence by consulting Dolby. Dolby was like, oh, you should totally check this out. I work with this company all the time as their data consultant. They're one of the most they are tackling one of the most interesting problems in Web3, which is user growth. So after talking a few sessions with the company, the CTO Kunal and the CEO Antonio, I was really impressed. And I think it really aligned with what I try to do, which is the real use case for Web3 user growth. and then it's a data company that really I can shine as a data scientist there. So that's how I joined Spindl. Long story short, 2 years afterwards, we're trying to decide rather either to launch another token or launch a token, raise another round, or find another exit. And we eventually decide to sell to Coinbase. So now we're finding the biggest distribution inside Coinbase base team, working very closely with Jesse Pollock's team on base.
I think another point to note is also Antonio. So Dragonfly backed Spindl back in 2022, and Antonio came from the ad space already. He was running I believe he was director of ads at Facebook, or some similar title at least. So he knew the space very well and wanted to port it over to crypto because there's obviously a gap to be filled. So yeah, very interesting journey, the Spindl journey so far.
Yeah, Antonio helped build the first version of Facebook ad exchange back before you and I started using Facebook. And yeah, in his after reading his Chaos Monkey, I was like, okay, so what we are doing is literally doing the Chaos Monkey too. I want to be part of the book, part of the journey.
Yeah, that's definitely a piece of lore for Antonio, like doing the ads before anyone even understand what it is in the internet. I also remembered you were the number 6 or number 7 hire at Spindl. So how does it feel like to be the only data scientist working at such small startup?
Yeah, I think it's a very cool experience. At a bigger company, you're kind of pigeonholed into one role, analytics, metric reporting, and then you spend a lot of time to polish it to do it really well, which is something I learned at my first stint at Coinbase. I've been many different roles, but each time I focus a lot on this. At a startup, things move incredibly fast. So you want to err on the side of shipping. The amount of pull requests I push and merge tripled after I started Spindl. We were able to build a lot of the cool stuff. For example, I was able to build the first version of the ML personalization engine for Web3. That's super cool. Deploy the whole thing end to end. Very simple model, but ship it under a month. I was able to build the wallet intelligence tool that we can just understand everything you need to know about any wallet on the blockchain that are active, so that we can help to target users. So those stuff is really helpful to working a team that understand data, move very fast, and be very Web3 native.
Even when I started working on crypto, there was already a few ads here and there on some websites, but I felt like they were very low impact and very badly targeted. They were just, there without really tracking much of how they were doing and if they actually converted end users. What was the vision of Spindl like for, porting kind of like Web2 ad system onto Web3 Rails? So how does that process look like? How is it different?
Yeah, Dobby, you're exactly right. So the problem of growth in Web3 is that there's always this demand, but the incentivized user growth is always there, right? They are already ubiquitous. And everything is ad. If you go to layer 3 or rabbit hole to do a transaction to incentivize to get like a few OP token paid out by doing a swap, that's an ad. If you farm your airdrop of a token project with the expectation that is gonna give you some money back in the future, that's an ad that people incentivize you to do. If you get some NFT spam, of course there's an ad. And this Coinbase spent, I think, 15 million on a Super Bowl campaign. Right, that's also an ad for people to sign up and go to a sweepstake to win like a lot of Bitcoin. But the problem of those things is that, as you correctly point out, it's not the best way to find user to us. The ads are not targeted, they're not measured, and they're not Web3. What we do here is very different. what we do here is find wallet-aware publishers platforms such as a crypto wallet or crypto social app like Farcaster, and then put a incentivized unit inside, so that when we show the ads to the user is not just a cookie or an eyeball that you have no idea about, and you're just wasting most of the money to irrelevant people. You actually know exactly how much money the wallet address hold, what token they buy, and what type of DeFi stuff that they do. And those are very informative things that you can use to make sure you personalize the ad really well for that user, such that that's another point that I want to make, that Web3 ads is not inherently evil, because in Web2, the ads can be very disruptive, irrelevant, and sometimes offensive. In Web3, because we kind of understand a little bit more about your behavior, we can place in theory, the better recommended ad, personalized ad to you, so that, to recommend you to do the stuff that actually interesting. And that's also a very important problem for the builders. I think one of the biggest challenge for that project is that when you put your project out there, when you think you want to have a user to use it, it's really hard to find any users out there. The Web3 space is populated with bots, with just programmatic wallets that are not actually doing real stuff. The way we do it, you're only paying out your campaign budget. You're reaching the real user and only paying out when those users convert.
Yeah, I think like ads can have a bad rep for some people, but if you think about it, a lot of the free products you use generally, like in Web2 apps and stuff, are powered by making money from ads themselves. So I think they're a net positive for users who use those, and also if they're targeted pretty well, like it might actually surface a lot of interesting things and behavior to users. So I think ads can be a great thing, and we need ads in the crypto space just as much as other places.
So I vaguely remembered from my school time when we were like learning about machine learning and like recommendation algorithm. There are some like how to say the main basic idea would be like, for example, you have an item-based recommendation. So if you've traded some NFT before, maybe I'll recommend you to another similar profile NFT. Or if you interact with DeFi, I'll like, recommend you another swap DEX or whatever. Could be like a user-based recommendation. So like say, if I interacted with this and Dolby's address interacted with me, I assume he's my friend or something, and he likes another app. Maybe I recommend that app to me. So I wonder, is that how you guys are doing like the recommendation or attribution, or is like way more complicated or is similar? Curious.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's our first. That's the first iteration of our ML personalization model that I built, using a type of collaborative filtering model called ALS that does exactly that. First, have the user embedding and the item embedding matrix, and then we take the dot product and make sure the user get recommended the token or that projects that has the closest distance similarity to them. For the next version that we're trying to scale this thing for the entire to a much bigger user, we're gonna use more like deep learning, two-tower system, complicated machine learning stuff within the Coinbase infrastructure to do that.
Gotcha. But then I assume like the way you define similarity will need a lot of like label inputs or like sort of thing. How are you defining like a profile of a project, etc.?
Yeah, maybe it's time I can share some of the product that we built, because this is very relevant. So this is an example of a global audience, customer audience that we call that based on powered by the wallet intelligence data model that we can show the advertisers and publishers what type of users that they are. And you can see we have different types of labels here in the bottom. I have a whole entire blog post on the definition and stuff. We can link it in the chat. But yeah, based on the characteristic, the transactions, the contract interaction of the addresses, we actually can help to develop those wallet trades, DEX, trader, DeFi active, perp trader is a very important targeted segment for a lot of our advertisers, right? We can also see the other information, right? The more basic ones that also can go into the features, like token balance, token holding, engagement score, which is a heuristic model that we built to analyze how many users are actually bots. And then we also have this reach estimation here. Those are the platform that we can reach the user from. With this audience tool, the feature for machine learning training is just one of the use case. The other use cases can be advertisers can understand, hey, maybe a lot of 32% of my users who this arbitrage trader come from Twitter actually use SushiSwap. So we should do a partnership with SushiSwap and then acquire our users from there.
It's a very different type of business case for how to say Web3 marketing or growth compared to say like Project Galaxy, like which as I understand, I don't know if you heard of this project, but they collaborate with a lot of projects to spend this amount of money and for like a campaign for user to do a few clicks or like actions, and then user gets some token, etc. So yeah, I feel like it's a different kind of model of growth.
Totally, yeah. What we do, maybe it's time we can jump into the attribution side of things. Let me take a step back and try to identify the problem first. What is attribution and why does it matter? In the case of a quest such as Galaxy, you're literally incentivize the last touch point of the user action. You're not really looking at what the user do before or afterwards. Just say, hey, if you do this, you get some money. That's very simple, very actionable, but heavily farmed. I'm sure you can see the Doom dashboard to see most of the users who do quest can be very botsy. The way we understand, and this is also the way Web2 has evolved to a point, is that imagine a user journey where you are going through many different places. Maybe let's look at this chart. Many different places. You see an influencer post on Discord one day, and then you see a Twitter post, and then you see he's taking off. You go to you open the link from Google, and then you trade a token. So after you convert, after you pay the trading fee, which of those platforms gets the credit for driving you there, right? If you want to, maybe it's not a big problem for the user, but if you're a marketer, if you're an advertiser, if you're a DApp who wants to bring thousands, tens of thousands of users to your platform, and you have the money to spend, which of those platforms you want to pay to get you the most users? Well, this is what we call the attribution, to understand what is the cause and what actually drives the conversion. And this is what we built at Spindl to do it. So there are two concepts here. One is a churn window, and another one is a look back window. So first, we want to make sure this user is determine whether this user is an existing or active user. So we have this 45-day churn window. If the user had no touch point for the last 45 days, then we can deem the user as a new user. And then afterwards, we look back 7 days to see out of the 7 days, how many touch points do we see, and which one should get the credit for. Currently, we use a first touch attribution, in this case, Twitter wings, so that this transaction is credited to Twitter for driving the user convert. This is a very different way of seeing the world because then you can actually spend money and reward the platform that actually drive your user once you have a rule that agree upon. Again, this is a solved problem in Web 2, right? So it's nothing really interesting here. But in Web 3, things get a little bit complicated. There are two things that are very interesting in Web 3. First is the user identity. In Web 2, user identity exists as a user ID on Facebook or Google. So we'll spend money on we'll pay like $10,000 to Google, say, hey, bring me 1 million users by this ad. You just upload a creative, and Google will put their ads on YouTube, Google, other platforms, because they have a notion of user ID internally, same as Facebook. and then you don't need to worry about that. But in Web3, because it's a whole fragmented space, things get a little bit tricky. So we actually have this identity clustering engine to consolidate both the wallet address identity and then the Web2 identity that the user, the companies wants us to share their Web2 event with us, to make sure it's the same user that that are visiting the site, their own site, as well as making transaction on chain. So that's the first part, identity. The second part is conversion. Conversion in Web2 happens also as a Web2 event, of course, and the company can just send you a SDK of that event to the attribution platform. But in Web3, it exists on chain, which is actually a very good thing. So all the Doom wizard out there, we can ingest data from the blockchain data provider and take that as a conversion event. But the interesting part is we are able to merge the Web3 conversion event with the Web2 touchpoint to complete this whole user journey. Currently, the dashboard you see on Dune are only looking at the user conversion event that you can see on chain. But from our side of Spindl, we can see the whole thing. We can see the entire user journey, which makes it very robust, and we can pay out the correct publisher who drive this traffic to users, and then it becomes really, really good. I can maybe it's a good time to jump into some of our ad units, so you can actually see what ads look in Web3. So this is a wallet called BeatGet. We just signed today, and on the front page of their Discover tab, there's a carousel where it highlights the dApps that inside our Spindl publisher network that they run ads here. So when you click and convert, the attribution system can decide BeatGet gets the credit, and then it get paid. This is another ad unit inside the base app. It's a social app, and inside the forecaster social feed page. So when you scroll, you see a Morpho ad, and it's a lot more native, right? Because it's just like another post. And then when you click on it, it launches a mini app, and then you can do your transaction there.
Do you mean like you're tracking all the Web3 apps front end traffic, like the Web2 data of the Web3 app?
Yeah. So for the advertisers, for the dApps that integrate with Spindl, they give us their SDK, and we can see from their landing page the refer on the URL, right? Where the user come from. So when the user click from Twitter, the refer URL tag will show Twitter. That's one way we can tag it from the SDK land. And then of course we want to join that data with the Web3 conversion in the back to map the entire journey.
Gotcha. So it's basically some dApps or Web3 projects, they outsourcing their user analytics to you guys. Because I remember when I was back in 0x, we were doing those things in-house using like Mixpanel, Heap, Amplitude, those kind of tool. And like I was exporting those data and joining them on chain, just trying to figure out. So I guess that's kind of like the workflow you guys are doing here as well. But another point is, I'm sure you have a lot of rants about this like controversial thing of like how to define a user, and you guys probably are at the central point of like how to solve this problem. Do you have any? Because like I assume when you are analyzing per user wallet's profile, how do you know like if user may have multiple wallets and they're trying to segment their use case separately, and so you kind of only get a fragmented like persona of somebody? Or is there any like I guess like methods you guys developed to like trying to identify multiple wallets belong to some person?
Of course, the advantage that we have here is that we're able to harvest the Web2 data that the
I see.
applications willing to share with us. So if you use multiple wallets, if you have 10 different wallets and you visit Morpho with 10 different wallet address and do the 10 different pools, because Morpho send us their data, of course it only lives constrained living in Morpho. We don't share it with their competitors. That's a big no. It's like not legally compliant. We'll get into big trouble if we do that. But because they only live in Morpho identity, we have a Morpho user ID that cluster those 10 different wallets into one user. so that no matter which one of Danny's wallet actually convert on chain, we know we can harvest the entire all the touch points that those 10 different wallet has. And in the other way, if Danny only used one wallet to view one ad, but then had 10 different wallets doing 100 different transactions, we'll give all the credit to that. Right? So that's the idea of doing a very fair and scientific attribution in Web3.
I have another question. So you now work for the Coinbase Ads team. Why are you also showcasing ads on like the BitGet wallet? Is it more seen like a B2B SaaS that others can apply for, or how much weight does it have, for internal use rather than external? And how do you see all this?
Yeah, the vision for Spindl is always to help the Web3 to build its growth engine. And when we believe that it's not going to happen unless we expand it to the entire Web3 ecosystem, to all the chains, to all the dApps. We don't want to just be a growth engine in-house for any company. That's why when we talk to Coinbase, one thing that we really align on is that Coinbase is not a defensive acquisition, meaning that Coinbase buys Spindl and then it's not allowed to give anyone else to use. In fact, one of the OKR for us for the acquisition is that we want to keep all the existing clients, even the competitors, and we want to grow this ecosystem. So you can see we have the competing wallets, we have the competing DEX like Uniswap running their own DEX ad inside Coinbase, which has its own DEX router. When I first joined Spindl, we did not have any revenue. We did not have a product market fit. We have a few clients who were willing to test us out for free. And that was it. There is no concept of Web3 ad network out there. Getting this deep integration with Coinbase really help us to complete this first milestone of getting a big distribution so that we can test out a lot of the theories, test out our unit economics, and to understand which works and which don't work.
As somebody who worked at Flashroads who cared a lot about like sensitive data policy and TE application, I wanted to say though, like it's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit weird that like Coinbase team has access to BitGet wallets front-end data. Because like if you want, you can probably like analyze and compare user base with
Coinbase team does not have any access to any of the external clients' data. The only people who have access to those data are me and a few other Spindl team. And this is explicitly stated in our user data sharing agreement. And Coinbase is going to get sued. So yeah, rest assured. And this is something we try to communicate to all our clients. Because otherwise it will be like a Google, right? Google has all the information on Yelp and then just use that to its own advantage. It's violating the principle of building everything in the open for Web3. So that's not something we want to do.
Okay, that's good to know. I'm glad I asked, and so we can clarify that. Yeah. I have a comment. I think like Web3 ads or like Web3 attribution has its own power compared to Web2. That's even like, how to say, more powerful. Because from what I understand, like if you are an app today that launched on App Store and you want to do like ads campaign, you go to Meta Ads and you have to basically specify what kind of keywords you want to basically bid for. And then there's like price for the keywords. Sometimes your competitor can like, how to say, adversely like bid up the price, etc. But basically you have a budget and you bid on this amount of people to see the ads. But actually this curve of these, how to say, the ad spend is, how to say, it's not linear. Actually, when you spend more, likely you will have a better conversion because the algorithm will be able to know better to find your user that converts better. So like if you throw money to like throw the ads to 3,000 people, maybe it didn't like, then the ads, how to say, the algorithm has a cold start and it will throw to 3,000 people maybe randomly. And then some of them converted, they will be like, oh, I'm going to find more similar profile there. So actually, the more you spend, the higher revenue likely you will have in terms of like the ratio of the spend. But for Web3, there's no cold start kind of. Like basically you can index all the users' profile already, and you based on their like behavior in the past, that they will basically be able to like you can identify they might be able to purchase this thing.
Absolutely. And it's a very good segue to showcase two of our very successful case study that we run for our marquee advertisers. So Gains Network is a very good DEX is to leverage trading. And after running 2 weeks of campaign, G-Trade, their main app, achieve this much reach and almost over $100 million in trading volume, and net a lot of the protocol fee. So and the main metrics that we care about is ECPM, effective cost per 1,000 impressions. This metric in Web2 standard will be really good if it's around $10, and here we see a $35. So yeah, that corroborate with exactly what your point is in Web2, Web3 ads a little bit more targeted and thus better advertising channels. Morpho is also a very good client of ours. They run a campaign inside Coinbase, and they see that this platform, Coinbase Wallet, actually drive 6x higher click-through rate compared to other channels like Google, Twitter, right? User convert a lot better there. So and the reason is obvious. Whenever you do a marketing, the closer you are for the user to get to the conversion funnel, the higher the conversion rate is, because there are less friction and less steps of dropping off. When you see the ad unit that I showed to you on the social app, we just click a mini app and then one click convert. That's like reducing so much friction out of the door. And then the user, in addition to already being interested in the space and has the money, has the gas to pay for the transaction, is like already a Wallet Connect user. So he doesn't need to connect the wallet, doesn't even need to land on the page, just need to open the mini app and then do the trade. So this is the future for how do we power the Web3 user growth for any builders.
So what I'm hearing actually is that like, so you're looking at the current conversion rate and click-through rate, and you're saying it's actually way higher than like a Web2 benchmark, but it's likely because it's biased, because users are already on this app and they have the interest, and you have like a one-click basic conversion kind of funnel, which is like very optimal for like basically having users to do things that's actionable. I wonder if you see anywhere like the ads can go further beyond just like, say, the crypto native apps. So basically, like, I mean, that makes sense. And it's like, right now it's on Firecaster, on Base app. I can see it in like all the wallets and maybe like WorkCoin app, etc. Do you see it go from anywhere beyond this to like Web2 or like social media or anywhere else?
One of the goal that we have, the distant goal in the future, is to actually place our ads in other bigger platforms such as Etherscan or CoinGecko. Right? They charge a lot of money for their Bennett unit. But frankly, I want to challenge this statement and argue that it is in the advertiser, the builder, the Morpho, the Gains, the Uniswap's interest to put their ads where the user population are. And in Web3, that means putting their ads in a crypto wallet, in a crypto social app, and in any other platform, maybe gaming or other places where the user has their eyeball on and is already wallet connected. Because then you know exactly who to target, how much money you want to spend. You can bid a lot higher with the confidence that those money you spend are actually going to convert at a higher conversion rate, and you're going to have a positive ROAS, return of ads sold, because those users are relevant audience. Versus you just throw the money out there on an Etherscan or a CoinGecko banner, and then the user need to jump to many hoops to even get to the conversion step, and two, may not even be relevant to them.
For a business, I guess the higher the conversion, better money spent if you get more out of it. But I have a question. Looking ahead, if you had to explain how you see things in the next 5 years or so, what is your vision? My take is that we might eventually have retail move more and more into private blockchains eventually. Like those aren't really close to ready for years or anything, but eventually I think that's where we might end up. And you also have, like you mentioned, tools like CoinGecko and Etherscan where you don't really log in with a wallet anyway, so you don't really have that attribution to who that is in the Web3 space. How does Coinbase Ads work here?
Yeah, so maybe it's a good time to introduce one thing that we are cooking up, and we publish a light paper for, which is our open protocol called Flywheel. This is something that really get me very excited about. I'm working with our protocol engineers to do the data side, right, so that we can potentially see the data I'm doing very soon. But the concept is that, hey, we're building a advertiser publisher network, right? The problem is very simple. Publishers, they need to make money, harvest their eyeballs, and directly use it with the most important place to go and to do stuff so that they stay engaged. Advertisers, they want to buy users. They have so much money, they just want to buy users. So why don't we build an ad network? So we did that in the last 2 years. But now the next step is, why don't we put it on chain? Why do we make it open so that anyone can permissionlessly run any campaign that on chain, so that if CoinGecko wants to run ad, if Etherscan wants to run ad, they just need to integrate with our Flywheel protocol. So we're gonna launch. So it kind of work like this, and we can dive into the detail. This is basically a Web2 programmatic Web2 ads network in a nutshell, right? You have the ads partner, you have the publisher partner, the place you put the ads. In this case, it's the wallet, the social app, and then you have an attribution platform to give credit to whoever bring the user to the advertisers. And then in the Spindl land, it kind of look like this. So we're basically trying to build everything for a programmatic ad world, but for Web3, and put them on chain. We're going to write a lot of those events for like conversion data, campaign funding, to make sure like people can actually do the stuff that I do internally on Dune, that we can understand which campaign performs better out of all of them, right? B, which publisher, which platform out of the Coinbase wallet, Rainbow wallet, MetaMask, which one should I spend more money? These are all going to be public information, so that you can see the metrics and judge by yourself, and then permissionlessly run the ad, go through the review of the publisher, and then boom, you can use this channel to advertise anything that you want to boost and make sure the user want to see.
This is crazy, because I was just about to make the comment that like I feel like now somehow recently I've heard a wave of people who are just talking about like ads now no longer is like a, how to say, like a middle party who is trying to do all this pricing and like how to say, designing the ads for you. But now for anyone who is like a, I guess in your word, ads is it advertiser or publisher, whoever wants to launch an ads, like say to promote their app, maybe, I don't know, like would you call that advertiser or publisher here? Like,
The person who wants to promote
Yeah.
its content, it will be the advertiser.
Okay, advertiser. Yeah.
Platform who you run such promoted content on, it's a publisher.
Yeah. And so like what I hear is that for a company who is building an app, and 75% out of their cost are basically paying the ads producer and the ads, how to say, ads campaign cost. But now they found out like basically now everybody's doing influencer TikTok ads promoting. So now if you just go to like some TikTok influencers who has like a few thousand or few, maybe 50,000, 100K followers, they will like basically charge you way less than how like a platform will charge you. And is that also some kind of like future you include in this vision of the Flywheel protocol? Like,
Yeah. So So basically, the reason protocol exists in the world, especially for Web3, is that it reduce the transaction cost for you to do such things.
Yeah.
For example, Uniswap V2 protocol reduce the transaction cost for you to have liquidity and to trade, and it become a lot cheaper for you to find for you want to buy a token and someone to sell a token to get together to do such action. Reduce a lot of the transaction costs. In ads world, similar things can be said, right? With the protocol, it will reduce a lot of the under the table dealing and the BD interaction. Those will always exist, but you can see it in the open, so you can be able to really understand what's out there for you, and you can permissionlessly run the campaign and understand, hey, those are the facts from the blockchain. Those is converted. Therefore, this is how much I can pay.
So you're saying a future of like some like crypto KOL is promoting this app, and you can find on chain that, hey, they were paid to promote this ads, and so it's not just you getting like organic content that is like falseful.
Well, you'll be able to know the wallet address that created and funded this campaign, whether the wallet address wants to share with you if this is or you want to stay anonymized. It's totally up to him.
With that, this has been the Index Podcast. See you again in 2 weeks for another episode. Thanks a lot, James, for coming on. That was really cool. Really excited to see the evolution of the ad space going forward. And let's see when Flywheel comes out.
Yeah, thanks for the time, James. I learned a lot about attribution and ads. Looking forward to see the ads on my Base app.
Yeah, very excited, and thank you so much for having me, guys. To close this out, I just want to say, without the Web3 data community, I would not be here. I think you guys are the reason why we stay in the coldest time of the crypto winter and plodding forward and build such a tight knit network where everyone help each other and to learn and to grow and to make goodness happen in Web3, where there's so many bad actors. And yeah, cannot be more excited to help to expand our tentacles into so many different places in Web3, so that we can really help to drive this Web3 user growth engine.
That's awesome. If you're into data, there's space for a lot more data people in crypto. There's a lot of demand for those, so come on board. Thank you very much. See you in 2 weeks.
Crypto data wizards, come join us for the parade. From Bitcoin ETF to Solana meme coin trade, uncovering public secrets in the blockchain shade. Bachelor, cherry picking liar, we call them out and set chart crime on fire. Index